Time Warner Cable was an American cable telecommunications company, prior to its purchase by Charter Communications in 2016. It was ranked the second largest cable company in the United States by revenue, behind only Comcast, operating in 29 states. Its corporate headquarters were located in the Time Warner Center in Midtown Manhattan, New York City, with other corporate offices in Stamford, Connecticut, Charlotte, North Carolina, and Herndon, Virginia. It was controlled by Warner Communications, then by Time Warner. That company spun off the cable operations in March 2009 as part of a larger restructuring. Since then, Time Warner Cable has been an entirely independent company, continuing to use the Time Warner name under license from its former parent. In 2014, the company was the subject of a proposed purchase by Comcast Corporation, valued at $45.2 billion. However, following opposition to the deal by various groups, along with plans by the U.S. government to try to block the merger, Comcast called off the deal in April 2015. On May 26, 2015, Charter Communications announced that it would acquire Time Warner Cable for $78.7 billion, along with Bright House Networks in a separate $10.1 billion deal, pending regulatory approval. The purchase was completed on May 18, 2016. Charter continues to do business as Time Warner Cable in its former markets, but plans to rebrand TWC Systems under its Spectrum brand in the future. History. Time Warner Cable was formed in 1992 by the merger of Time Inc.'s cable television company, American Television and Communications Corp., and Warner Cable, a division of Warner Communications, as a result of a merger to form Time Warner. For the 2 years after the merger, the companies operated separately but under the umbrella name Time Warner Cable Group. They merged into one entity in 1992. It also includes the remnants of the defunct Cube interactive TV service. In 1995, the company launched the Southern Tier Online Community, a cable modem service later known as Roadrunner High-Speed Online. That year, talks began that would later result in Warner's acquisition of Paragon Cable. Glenn Britt was the CEO from 2001 until December 2013. Time Warner retained Time Warner Cable as a subsidiary until March 2009, when it was spun out as an independent company. Prior to the spin-out, Time Warner had held an 84% stake in Time Warner Cable. Non-Time Warner shareholders received 0.083670 shares for each share already owned. This move made Time Warner Cable the largest cable operator in the United States owned solely by a single class of shareholders. In June 2009, Time Warner Cable unveiled a concept known as TV Everywhere, a means of allowing multi-platform access to live and on-demand content from television channels that is tied to a user's television subscription sale. It was first reported in September 2013 that Time Warner Cable was exploring a sale of the company, possibly to Charter Communications. However, on November 22, 2013, reports surfaced that Comcast expressed interest in acquiring Time Warner Cable. Both companies were said to be placing bids for the company. Charter reiterated its interest in purchasing Time Warner Cable and increased its bid on January 14, 2014. On February 12, 2014, it was reported that Comcast had reached a deal to acquire TWC in an overall deal valued at $45.2 billion, pending regulatory approval. The proposed merger was met with prominent opposition from various groups, showing concerns that the sheer size of the combined company would reduce competition and would give Comcast an unprecedented level of control over the United States' internet and television industries, increased leverage in the distribution of NBC Universal content, hamper over-the-top services, and lead to higher prices for its services. In April 2015, it was reported that the U.S. Department of Justice was preparing to file an antitrust lawsuit against the companies in a bid to halt the merger, primarily because the merged company would have controlled 57% of the nation's broadband capacity. On April 24, 2015, Comcast officially announced that it had called off the merger. On May 25, 2015, Bloomberg News reported that Charter was near a deal to acquire TWC for $195 a share. Charter had been involved in the Comcast-TWC merger, as the companies planned to divest around 4 million subscribers to Charter in order to reduce the combined company's market share to an acceptable level. The next day, Charter officially announced its intent to acquire Time Warner Cable in a deal valued at $78.7 billion, and confirmed that it would also continue with its proposed $10.1 billion acquisition of Bright House Networks. The deal was subject to regulatory approval, although due to the relatively smaller size of the companies and the media holdings, the deal was expected to face less resistance than the Comcast-TWC merger. The acquisition was completed on May 18, 2016. The Time Warner Cable brand will be phased out, with its services to be transitioned to Charter's Spectrum brand over the coming months. Residential services. As of second quarter 2009, there were 14.6 million basic cable subscribers, 8.8 million digital cable subscribers, 8.7 million Roadrunner residential subscribers, 2.5 million DVR subscribers, and 4.5 million residential digital phone subscribers, which makes it the fifth largest landline phone provider in the United States. Business services. As of 2013, Time Warner Cable's business division had the second largest business-facing enterprise by revenue, with $1.7 billion in revenue as of the third quarter of 2013. Total revenue for 2012 was $1.9 billion. Cable Internet Service. Naming rights. Current. Arena. Time Warner Cable Arena is located in Charlotte, North Carolina, the home of the NBA's Charlotte Hornets. In April 2008, the then Bobcats reached a naming rights deal with Time Warner Cable, the Charlotte area's major cable television provider. The arena was named for the cable provider in exchange for the release of the team's television rights, which had been on the TWC co-owned Carolina's Sports Entertainment Television for its first season, which failed to find much cable coverage in the Charlotte market outside of Time Warner systems and went dark after a year. And then News 14 Carolina, which was limited to only the North Carolina side of the market, until the arena naming rights deal was made. The team moved to the new Fox Sports South subfeed Fox Sports Carolinas and Sports South with the 2008-09 season, allowing coverage through both the Carolinas. Shortly after being acquired by Charter, the arena was renamed the Spectrum Center, former Fox Cities Stadium. On March 9, 2007, Time Warner Cable, which provides service to the northeastern Wisconsin area, signed a 10-year naming rights deal. The field is home of the Wisconsin Timber Rattlers, a local minor league baseball team of the Midwest League and affiliate of the Milwaukee Brewers. Based in pursuit, a suburb of Appleton. The team and Time Warner Cable mutually agreed to end the rights deal after the 2013 season, and the venue is now known as Neuroscience Group Field at Fox Cities Stadium, named for a local neurology practice. Acquisitions. Adelphia. On July 31, 2006, Time Warner Cable and Comcast completed a deal to purchase practically all of Adelphia's assets for $17 billion. Time Warner Cable gained 3.3 million of Adelphia's subscribers, a 29% increase, while Comcast gained almost 1.7 million subscribers. Adelphia stockholders received 16% of Time Warner Cable. Time Warner Cable went public effective February 13, 2007, and the company began trading on the New York Stock Exchange on March 1, 2007. In addition to Adelphia's coverage being divided up, Time Warner Cable and Comcast also agreed to exchange some of their own subscribers in order to consolidate key regions. An example of this is the Los Angeles market, which was mostly covered by Comcast and Adelphia is now under Time Warner Cable. Philadelphia had been split between Time Warner and Comcast, with the majority of cable subscribers belonging to Comcast. Time Warner subscribers in Philadelphia were swapped with Comcast in early 2007. Similarly, the Houston area, which was under Time Warner, was swapped to Comcast, while the Dallas metro area was changed to Time Warner. In the Twin Cities, Minneapolis was Time Warner and St. Paul was Comcast. That whole market is now Comcast. Navazit. Time Warner Cable purchased Navazit, a company providing cloud and hosting services, on February 1, 2011 for $230 million, roughly equating to $5.50 per share. Inside Communications. On August 13, 2011, Time Warner Cable announced its purchase of Inside Communications for $3 billion, acquiring Insight's 760,000 subscribers nationwide. The merger was completed February 29, 2012, and as of June 2013, all of Inside Communications was absorbed into Time Warner Cable. DukeNet Communications. On October 7, 2013, Time Warner Cable announced that it has agreed to acquire DukeNet Communications LLC for $600 million. DukeNet provides data and high-capacity bandwidth services to wireless carrier, data center, government, and enterprise customers in the Southeast. Advance, Newhouse and Time Warner. Some of the regional cable system clusters operated by Time Warner Cable are owned by the Time Warner Entertainment Advance Newhouse Partnership. In 2002, Advance Newhouse Communications, unhappy with some of the operating policies of Time Warner Cable in the AOL Time Warner era, forced a restructuring of the TWEAN partnership such that Advance Newhouse would actively manage and operate a portion of the jointly owned cable systems equal to the percentage of equity. Under this arrangement, Advance Newhouse enjoys the proceeds of their actively managed systems rather than simply a percentage of the partnership's total earnings. The majority of the affected systems are in the Tampa and Orlando markets under the Bright House Networks brand. The value of this deal is that it allows Advance Newhouse to more directly control the cable investments without having to completely unravel the TWEAN partnership, which does bring some benefits via Time Warner's development and purchasing clout. If the transactions proposed by Charter are approved, TWC in Bright House Networks will be absorbed into Charter. venture with Sprint Nextel. In late 2005, TWC and several other cable companies formed a venture with Sprint Nextel. This joint venture enables TWC customers to receive a full suite of products, linking in-home and out-of-home entertainment, information, and communication services. All of this was included in the new Triple Play on the Go, similar to the Triple Play but an addition of new services through Sprint Nextel. Controversies. Bandwidth metering. In Beaumont, Texas during 2008, Time Warner Cable began testing tier-based metered data plans that effectively placed customers into a pricing hierarchy based on the amount of data that they used. In 2009, Time Warner Cable announced that additional cities including Rochester, New York will become additional test sites. In particular in Rochester, groups have formed to stop TWC. Several groups, including Stop TWC and Stop the Cap, are currently working to oppose these efforts. On April 7, 2009, then U.S. Congressman Eric Massa called on Time Warner to eliminate its broadband internet cap, signal intrusion and accidental transmission of pornography. On March 16, 2010, Time Warner Cable's transmission of the Kids On Demand and Kids Preschool On Demand channels on systems in eastern North Carolina was interrupted by programming from the adult pay television channel Playboy TV for approximately 2 hours between 6:15 a.m. and 8:15 a.m. EDT, in which a group of nude women talked and posed in a sexually suggestive manner. This accidental display affected Time Warner's digital cable subscribers in 4 towns in the system's eastern North Carolina cluster, while other areas displayed a black screen. A Time Warner spokesperson said in a statement to Raleigh CBS affiliate WRAL, "It was a technical malfunction that caused the wrong previews to be shown on our Kids On Demand channels. Unfortunately, it hit at the worst possible time on the worst possible channels." A Time Warner executive said normal monitoring procedures did not take effect because the glitch affected only a few areas. Cable clusters. West Coast Cluster: California, Barstow, Desert Cities, Orange County, Los Angeles, San Bernardino, San Diego, Hawaii. Midwest Cluster: Kansas, Kansas City, Overland Park, Olathe, Shawnee, Missouri, Kansas City, Independence, Lee's Summit, Nebraska, Ohio, Akron, Bowling Green, North Baltimore, Canton, Cincinnati, Cleveland, Columbus, Dayton, Findlay, Lima, and Youngstown, Kentucky, Lexington, Louisville, Northern Kentucky, Ashland, Pennsylvania, Erie County, Sharon, Franklin, Wisconsin, Green Bay and Milwaukee. Northeast Cluster: Maine, New Hampshire, Berlin, Keene, Massachusetts, Athol, Pittsfield, Upstate New York. The Carolinas Cluster: North Carolina, Charlotte, Raleigh, Greensboro, and Wilmington. South Carolina, Columbia, Sumter, Florence, Somerville, Hilton Head and Myrtle Beach. New York Cluster: New Jersey, Bergen County, Hudson County, New York, New York City, Mount Vernon. Texas Cluster: Texas, Arlington, Austin, Beaumont, Port Arthur, Corpus Christi, Dallas, El Paso, Harlingen, Killeen, Temple, Laredo, Rio Grande Valley, San Antonio, Waco, and Wichita Falls. Coincidentally, the Irving, Grapevine, Coppell, Louisville cluster had been under Time Warner Cable's control upon acquisition of Paragon Cable. This was prior to an AMP-T broadband's full absorption of that cluster. Not in a cluster: Alabama, Dothan, Enterprise, Arizona, Yuma, California, El Centro, Colorado, Gunnison, Telluride, Idaho, Coeur d'Alene, Moscow, Indiana, DeOtte, Virginia, Washington, Pullman, West Virginia, Clarksburg. Divisions. Time Warner Cable's divisions. From official website, West Region PAC, West Region Oceanic, Time Warner Cable, Time Warner Cable Desert Cities, Time Warner Cable San Diego, Time Warner Cable Southern California, Midwest Region, Time Warner Cable Kansas City, Time Warner Cable Nebraska, Time Warner Cable Northeast Ohio and AMP Western Pennsylvania, Time Warner Cable Mid-Ohio, Time Warner Cable Southwest Ohio, Time Warner Cable Wisconsin, Texas Region, Time Warner Cable National, East Region, Northeast Region, Time Warner Cable Albany, Time Warner Cable Buffalo, Time Warner Cable Rochester, Time Warner Cable Central New York, Syracuse, Time Warner Cable New England, Time Warner Cable New York City, Carolinas Region, Time Warner Cable Charlotte, Time Warner Cable Greensboro, Time Warner Cable Eastern Carolina, Time Warner Cable Raleigh, Time Warner Cable South Carolina, Time Warner Cable Fayetteville, Sandhills. Former divisions. Sold to Comcast, Time Warner Cable Homer, Time Warner Cable Houston, Time Warner Cable Lake City, Live Oak, Time Warner Cable Mid-South, Time Warner Cable Minnesota, Time Warner Cable Shreveport, Time Warner Cable Street, Augustin, Palatka, Time Warner Cable Cape Coral, Naples. Divisions that became Bright House Networks, Time Warner Cable Central Florida, Time Warner Cable Tampa Bay. Rankings. The American Customer Satisfaction Index ranked Time Warner Cable as one of the least liked companies in terms of customer satisfaction in 2011, 2012, 2013, and 2014.